An interesting and also very alarming piece of news has made the front pages in the past few days, although it is not exactly new, namely that Anthropic has been destroying millions of books to train its AI models. Destroying history, destroying reading. What are Anthropic and the AI industry up to? As a history channel, I feel this has gotten way too bothersome not to speak of it. So, what is happening? Last year, it was revealed that Anthropic had spent millions of dollars scanning millions of books and then simply throwing away the leftovers. Ultimately, a judge ruled that this destructive scanning operation qualified as fair use, but only because Anthropic had legally purchased the books first, destroying each print copy after scanning and then keeping the digital files internally and not distributing them. Now, destructive scanning can sometimes be common. It is a practice among some book digitizing operations, but Anthropic's approach was somewhat unusual due to its documented massive gargantuan scale. By contrast, the Google Books project largely used a patented non-destructive camera process to scan millions of books borrowed from libraries, and these were later returned. For Anthropic, it seems that the faster speed and lower cost of the destructive process have overcome any need for preserving the physical books themselves, hinting at the need for this cheap and easy solution in a highly competitive industry. Some of the books are not that rare, but some of them are. Soul editions, I doubt it, but then again, who can know for sure? Anyway, these books should have ended up in public libraries and not AI labs. So while this was legally condoned and does not translate into large scale destruction comparable to Fahrenheit 451 or 1984 or the real life Nazi and Maoist book burnings, there is still something revolting and maleficent about it, which makes people reject the practice and start comparing it to book burnings, no matter how far fetched it might be. It's the symbolic act in and of itself that makes us reject it. To quote from Fahrenheit 451, it was a pleasure to burn. It was a special pleasure to see things eaten, to see things blackened and changed. And I think this is due to the fact that it is ultimately a very utilitarian approach. It almost looks like plundering. Now, much as I like, or better said, have to read a lot of PDFs, touching a book or anything printed for that matter, it feels like a liberation from the screen chains, so to speak. Reading something printed allows you to better grasp, visualize, and navigate the material apart from this very genuine feeling of holding something tangible. So thinking about a mass destruction, even of copies, sort of makes my stomach churn. Why Anthropic is destroying all these books has, of course, to do with the way LLMs work. LLMs are creating by feeding billions of words and phrases into neural networks, with the system processing the text and building statistical relationships between words and concepts, which is why the term intelligence remains more of a marketing tool. As The Spectator remarks, the books aren't being reproduced as autonomous texts, but collections of disjointed phrases used to train chatbots.
We're also kind of thinking of going in a more like language focused direction. We're thinking of combining it with other techniques. A common technique in reinforcement learning is imitation learning, where human demonstrates a task a bunch of times, and an AI system looks at that and tries to copy it or learn what the human is doing. So that's kind of another way to get humans involved. And I think our general vision is like, how do we let's work to try and find ways to combine all of these features together, because it's a little how children learn. They learn by copying adults.
Yeah, so basically how to train your AI like a child. It almost sounds endearing, doesn't it? So if you have very good data from vetted books and articles, then your models will produce higher quality texts than Reddit and YouTube comments. Older books and articles are free of AI slop. So, because soon AIs will have nothing else to ingest from web pages whose traffic they destroyed already, they will start self cannibalizing, which is why all these pre AI books are very much needed. Now, how high quality these books really are, well, that's also kind of subjective. If they also use the weird esoteric rubbish and alternative histories that you often find in antiquaries and vending machines, then that might defy the purpose a little bit. Anyway, the point is that once you buy a physical book, you can basically do whatever you want with it, including destroy it. This means buying physical books offered them a legal workaround. Initially, to avoid all this legal discomfort, AI companies did what poor scholars on the fringes of academia like myself cannot survive without, resorting to pirated books. But this time on a massive scale and because of greed, not necessity, to gobble all the material you could get your hands on and then selling it back to us as a subscription. Now, of course, this branches out into other problems like the absolutely prohibited prices of academic books and how the fact that publishing houses keep 90% of the revenue or more. So even if you download a book from whatever illegal site, you're basically not affecting the author, you're affecting the publishing house. But that would excuse the usage by someone like me, not these companies. It's a general mess of corporate logic, but for AI companies, a source of, I think, deserved backlash and potential lawsuits due to copyright infringement. Potential, no, because this has already happened. So Anthropic focused on this buying and scanning operation, often purchasing used books in bulk. Next, they stripped books from bindings, cut pages to workable dimensions with a hydraulic-powered cutting machine, scanning them as stacks of pages into PDFs with machine-readable text, including covers, and then discarded all the paper originals. It was simply the fastest way, although there are, as I said before, non-destructive book scanning methods that do preserve physical volumes while creating digital copies, as we have seen, for example, with the Internet Archive. What AI companies are doing, both with the pirated books and now this practice, is just lazy and embarrassing. And once again, consuming knowledge and then spitting out half-baked summaries is being sold as something transformative and beneficial for human progress. As 404 Media reports, I'm quoting here from futurism.com, this practice has become prevalent enough that even well-established booksellers are looking to cash in on the AI boom. One called ISBN, which boasts the world's largest book database, extols that the world's best AI training data is sitting on a shelf, upholding these physical texts as uncorrupted by shoddy AI writing that's already polluted so much of the internet and indeed newer books. Print books from the pre-LLM era are structurally guaranteed to be free of this contamination, and that alone is a significant advantage. Physical books published before this date, so pre-2022, are structurally clean of modern poisoning tools. Some of these sellers also promise AI companies they'll keep their purchases under wraps. Yeah, that does not sound dodgy at all. Again, futurism.com states that, I quote, one small bookseller said that in April he suddenly went from selling no more than 20 books a week to hundreds, and he's almost certain that the customers are AI labs, noting the random selection of the books and how they all have ISBNs. He added that his inventory is full with rare and out-of-print books, meaning that an AI company could be destroying some of the very few copies that can be found. This is truly an ethical dilemma, and blaming small booksellers for making these very difficult choices is not the way to go. When your inventory is unlikely to sell, you're almost forced by these unfortunate circumstances to sell to some AI lab. Like I'm probably going to be forced to accept some sponsorship if I don't manage with the paid memberships, which is not looking very good at the moment. And this prospect is really toasting my brain. In the end, we need to see the bigger picture here. This technology has been forced onto us. It is using our data, our knowledge, our resources. It's completely spiraling out of control. It is deregulated. And while some targeted usages can actually benefit us, the end goal of the tech oligarchs controlling it is one and one only: to make human labor and humans redundant. Writing is a form of creative power that they are desperately trying to replicate and then replace the producer. Not to mention how important it is for cognitive development and training, and how we are dangerously outsourcing it to these machines every day, more and more. I'm firmly convinced that they would destroy much more if they could, and I fear there is more coming up. In the logic that we can't throw out the AI because now it has data that can't be replaced. So one more reminder that the blokes behind these corporations tend to view people as expendable as long as they do not contribute to their wealth and power. Or in the words of the CEO of Standard Charter, lower value human capital that needs to be replaced.
It's not about cost cutting. Although that will be the result for sure. It's about having a structurally more productive environment that is fit for future, given the financial markets and the financial infrastructure world that we're going into.